Okay, so today we will continue our lecture. Last time we kind of stopped in introduction of chapter 2, which is chemistry, right? And we talk about atoms. Okay, atoms. Anybody still remember what is atoms? What is atom? Smallest unit of what? Smallest unit of matter. It's not smallest unit of life, okay? Smallest unit of life is cell. So atom is smallest unit of matter. What is matter? Anything takes space and has mass, right? Now, last time we talked about several items, 6 that is major in our body, in human body. So atoms. Let's list the 6 major atoms in living things. So we start maybe with hydrogen. And what is the number for that one? 1, 2, right? And then let's say carbon, 6, 12. What else? Oxygen, which is what? 8, 16. Nitrogen, 9, 18. Okay, let's say phosphorus. What is phosphorus over there? P, 15, right? 15, 30. 15, 30. S, sulfurous. S. What is S? 16. It's just next to it, right? 16, usually 32, something like that, right? We can also put, let's say, you say sodium, which is natrium, okay? What is that? 11, 22. And then chloride, 17, let's say 34, something like that, right? Okay. Do you still remember? What is the lowest number over here? This is the atomic number, right? So the lowest number is atomic number. What is actually is this one? Remember last time we also talked about 3 subparticles. The subparticles in an atom. What is the first one? The one that carry positive charge? Proton. Protons. Positive. Right? What is the second one? Neutron, which is neutral. What is the last one? The electron. Carry negative charge. Get it? Okay, now these atoms or these particles in any atoms, they will have the same structure. So any atom, it doesn't matter how big is this or small is this, will have the same structure. Okay? So structure of atoms over here. Okay? It has 2 main parts. Yeah? Every atom will have 2 main parts. It has 3 subparticles. It has 2 main parts. Okay? The first one is the center of an atom. It is called as the nucleus. The atom has nucleus, which is center. Get it? And the second part will be outside the nucleus. In some book it has different name. Sometimes it's called shell, like an egg cell, right? And then sometimes it's called orbit. Some also call it as a cloud, atomic cloud. But in this class, we're going to use this terminology, shell. So we're going to use the second part is called the shell. Get it? Okay. Now it means that it has nucleus over here, right? And then it has the cell. Okay, so nucleus, and this all outside it is an orbit, which is the cell. Maybe one, only one orbit, maybe two, maybe three, maybe four. It depends on the atomic number over there. Okay, you get this one? Now, atomic number. What is actually it is telling you? It is actually telling the number of the electron. Sorry. Atomic number is equal to number of protons. Get it? Atomic number mean this is the number of protons. How many protons that atom have? Now hydrogen, how many protons it has? One. Because one. Carbon, how many protons? 6. Just like that. So it's very specific. So different atoms will have different atomic number. It carry different number of protons. Okay, now this nucleus over here. You see the 3 subparticles over here? Proton and neutrons are located in the nucleus. So you're going to have proton and neutron over here. Can you follow that? So protons and neutrons are located in the nucleus of atoms. Get it? Where is the electrons going to be? Electron is going to be here on the shell. Okay? Therefore, most of the time, the shell over here is also known as electron shell. Get it? That's actually the name. The shell is now called the electron shell. Why? Because that's where the electrons are located. Okay, so every atom will be like this. It has nucleus with proton and neutron, and it has shell with electron. You get this one first. Now, here, what is the bigger number? Anybody still remember? What is that? Atomic mass. The mass of an atom. Okay? So, atomic mass, or the weight of an atom. What it is? It is equal to mass of proton, plus mass of neutron plus mass of electron. Okay, so this is actually the total of mass of all the particles. Can you follow this? Okay, now they are this one is very light. Okay, it's very light, but scientists are able to measure it. They're using the unit called the Dalton. It's not using ounce or pound or gram or kilogram. They're using Dalton, which is very light, okay, unit for this particle. So they measure that, the mass of proton equal 1.000, lot of zero over here, 0.8, let's say Dalton. Get it one? Because 1.00000, they usually say that this is around 1. So it is 1. Okay. They also weigh or measure the neutron. The mass is equal 1.0000007 Dalton, like that. Again, because 1.00000, what happened? Is close to 1. So it's equal actually 1. To make it easy, just round it. Get it? Now, mass of electron, remember electron is in the cloud, in the shell, in the orbit. It's actually very light. they actually able to move because it's very, very light. And they measure that the mass of electron is 0.000000 less than 9. But it's very, very light. So what happened? They say it is 0. It's just kind of, you can take that away, because it's 0. Now, because of this number, what happened over here? So we can change the formula for the atomic mass. You can remove one of them. What you have to remove over there? The one that is 0, what? The electron. So therefore, atomic mass is equal to mass of proton plus mass of neutron. That's it. You don't have to use electron because it's 0. Okay? Can you follow this one? Okay, now, in that atom, we can say there is a rule. We can put the rules over here to make you understand the structure of atoms easily. Get it? The first rule, this is the first rule. Okay? Number of proton in one atom will always equal to number of electron. Can you follow this? So this is the rule. In an atom, the number of proton will always equal to the number of electron. Okay, if you see this one, what do you think the atom? Does the atom have charge or not? Are you sure? Look, proton is positive, right? And then you have neutron, and electron is negative. You get this one? What? So every atom, number of proton equal to number electron. Get this one? Let's say hydrogen. How many protons it has? 1. It means that it has charge 1, right? But it also has how many electrons? Equal to electron, right? 1. What is the charge of electron? Negative 1. Got it? Now, if you have positive 1 and negative 1, what is the result going to be? 0. What is 0 mean? Nothing. Neutral. Okay? Can you follow this? So based on this, then you know that any atom will be charged or neutral. Will always neutral. Because positive, negative, the same. Okay? They kind of erase one another. Right? So this means that each atom is actually neutral. Atom is always neutral. Because positive, negative are the same. Can you follow this one, right? Yeah? Therefore, you will see some atom that actually carry charge, but the name is not atom anymore. You're going to see it later. Yeah? It is not called atom anymore if they carry charge. Okay, now, that's the first rule. Look over here. Okay, let's say based on the first rule over here, look at this one. Okay, carbon. How many proton it has? How many electron? How many neutron? Use this formula over here. How many neutrons gonna be? Based on this number. Come on, it says atomic mass is 12, right? So you have already number over there, right? The atomic mass of carbon is 12. And remember the formula, atomic mass is equal mass of proton. How many proton is that? What is the mass of proton? 1, what? 1 times 6 is 6, what? So 6 plus n. The neutron over here, right? You're looking for the neutron number or mass. What is the neutrons gonna be? 6, right? 6 plus 6 is 12. So based on this number over here, number over here, can you tell me how many proton in this atom? 6. How many neutron? How many electron? Also 6, right? Can you follow this? You get it, right? Because we will talk later about isotope, which is sometimes carbon is going to be look like this. Right? Carbon has different type. They will carry the same proton, of course, because proton is atomic number. It's going to be the same, all the carbon. However, sometimes they have different atomic mass. Looks like 12, 13, 14, 15. Okay. So this is what we call the isotope. Isotope. Which is an atom that has the same number of proton and of course the same number of electron, but it will have the different number of neutron. Can you follow this? Look at this one. How many proton here? How many electron? How many neutron? Oh, neutron, come on. How many neutron? 6. 12 is atomic mass, right? Which is neutron plus proton. Can you follow this? So this one has 6, 6, 6. 6 proton, 6 electron, 6 neutron. You get this one? How about this one? How many proton? 6. How many electron? Of course 6. Remember the rule, right? Now how many neutron? How many neutron for this one? 7. 13 minus 6, right? 7. Are you with me? Look at this carbon over here. Okay? How many proton? How many electron? 6. What? How many neutron? 8. 14 minus 6. Okay? Last one over here. How many proton? 6. How many electron? How many neutron? 9. 15 minus 6 is 9. Okay? So I repeat this again. So you know there are some atoms actually that have different type. And this is what we call the isotope. Are you with me? The one that have like this is called the stable. It is stable isotope. It is stable. Okay? You get this one? The one that has different number of neutron over here, therefore give different atomic mass, is called, anybody know? What is it called? It's very dangerous sometimes. It can cause cancer. Radioactive, right? It's called what? This is radioactive. I'm sorry, I cannot really sing, right? But I heard that. Radioactive. That's dangerous. So sometimes they're gonna put this kind of labels in this carbon. What is telling you? That telling you this is radioactive. Okay, you get this one, okay? You know, stable atom or stable isotope and radioactive. Not many of them have this radioactive. Most of them are stable, right? Okay, carbon is one example that is having radioactive. Okay, anybody has questions so far? I just want to make sure you know this one. This is the rule. So the first rule, number of proton equal to number of electron. Therefore, every atoms will be neutral. Will be neutral. The second rule, we call it as a duplet rule. Okay, duplet rule. Anybody know what is the duplet mean? Anybody live in duplet? What does duplet mean? It has two, right? It has two, right? So this duplet rule is actually rule regarding of the number of electron in the shell. Okay? In the duplet rule, it said that, okay, the first shell over here, the first electron shell, okay, first electron shell, okay, can take maximum of 2 electrons. Okay, so they can take only 2 electrons in the first shell. That's the rule. Remember, we have to follow the rule. This is rule in the classroom. What? Follow the rule. The third rule over here, okay, is called the octet rule. Octet rule. So if you know this rule, then you will be able to draw the structure of an atom easily using this rule. What does the octet mean? What's the octet mean? Octopus. What is octopus?
8.
It has 8 legs or arms. What? Octet means 8. So it is referred to the next shell, okay, can take maximums of how many? 8 electrons. Okay, that's the rule. Then we will apply these rules when we're drawing the structure of atom. And then after that, it's going to be easy for you to know how this atom will behave. Okay? Follow this? I'm going to erase this one. So make sure you write it, or you can also, again, watch the video later if you want. Hey, I will erase this. Ready? Okay. Now we're gonna apply that rule and then draw structure of some atom over here. We're gonna, let's say we choose hydrogen first. Hydrogen. How many protons it has? 1, right? So it means that how many protons will be in the nucleus? 1. Get it? Hey. How many neutrons? It's also 1 over here, right? So don't worry about neutron right now, okay? Now, how many electrons will be? What is the first rule? 1, okay? So it's gonna be 1. Okay? Let's say 1. Negative there. That's it, right? You got this one? Alright, so this is what? This is hydrogen atom. This is, what is the charge for this one? This atom. What is the charge gonna be? Neutral, what? +1, -1, 0. Follow this? Let's use oxygen here. Okay, oxygen. Gonna put here. How many protons? 8. Don't worry about neutron, we will not put neutron, but you know, if it is 16, it's going to be also 8 neutron, right? Now, how many electrons? 8. Now follow the second rule. What the second rule say?
2.
Only 2 in the first shell, right? So you can only put how many electrons over here? Only 2. You with me? What is the next one's going to be? 6. Gonna be on the next shell, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Get it? So this is what? Oxygen. What is the charge for this oxygen? Neutral. Are you with me first?
Yes.
Get it? Okay, now go back to hydrogen over here. The second rule say, the first rule say, what did the first rule say? 2 atoms. 2 electrons, right? Look at the hydrogen over here. How many electrons? 1. It is 2 yet? No, right? It's only 1. It means that this hydrogen is actually not stable. It always wants to bind with other atoms in order to make 2, because that's the rule. Okay? So we can say this is unstable. Of course, this is neutral, right? This is neutral, unstable. Are you with me? Unstable means you will never find hydrogen by itself. You will never find it in this earth, because it's unstable. They will combine with others. Okay? Now look at this one, oxygen. Of course, this is neutral, right? Because 0 charge. It is stable or not? What is the second rule say? 8, right? How about here? How many? It is already okay or not? It's not, right? It's also unstable. It means that you will never find oxygen atom by itself in nature. Okay? The only atoms that you can find them in nature by themselves is the one on the right, or the far right over there. You see that one? What is that? Look at the helium. What is the number of helium? What is the atomic number? 2, right? It means that already fill out. So you will find helium by itself. Helium gas. You sure that? Have you ever heard helium gas? That's actually atom. What is the next one over there? Under it. Neon. What is the atomic number? 10. It means that it has 2 and 8, right? That's already stable. So you will find the neon light. Are you with me? Right? And the next, going down over there, all of this, okay? This one over here in this column is called noble gas. Have you ever heard that? Noble gas, which is an atom that will available or present in nature without combining with other atoms. You with me? Why? They follow the rule. Now this one is not following the rule yet. Therefore, in order to be stable, they have to do something. They have to combine. That's the reason why most of the time, okay, the chemical that you see, that you find in nature are actually molecules. Can you follow this, right? You don't see atom by itself because many of them unstable. They will create molecules. So you have molecules actually most of the time. Look at this one. This one is unstable. How to make it stable? Make it 2 over here, right? How to make it 2? This one will go in here. I want to get a husband. Let's say this is a female, this is a male, right? So this one then what happen? We'll do like this. +1, and this is her negative over there. Can you follow this? So this is hydrogen with 1 oxygen. Do you see that one? Now look at the hydrogen. How many electrons it has now? 2, by sharing with 1 electron from oxygen, right? Sharing it. Now what happened with the hydrogen? Do you think she is happy? Yes, she's happy. I got 2. I'm stable. Yay. Right? I'm stable. I'm happy. Are you with me? Now look at the oxygen in this case. How many electrons it has now? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. What? Do you think he is happy? Not yet. Not yet. What's he gonna do? Looking for another hydrogen. Get it? So there will be, let's say, second hydrogen here, +1, and then share the electron. Can you follow this? Okay? Now look at the hydrogen over here. This is another hydrogen, right? What happened with her? Is she happy? Yes. I got money. I got 2 money. It's okay. I get 2. I'm stable. I'm happy. Look at the husband, not the husband. The oxygen. How many electrons it has now? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. It's follow the rule, right? So does this oxygen happy? Yay! I'm happy. Right? However, now it is not atom anymore. It's combined. How many hydrogen here? How many hydrogen in this combination? 2. How many oxygen? 1. Do you know what is this? Water, right? This is how water created. By combination of 2 hydrogen and 1 oxygen that make all of them happy. Alright? Now you have water. Now they are stable. Okay? Now you have that molecules. Do you have question for this one? Okay? No? So these combinations of atoms is called chemical bond. Okay? So combination of atoms to create a molecule is called chemical bonds. You get this one? Okay. There are 3 types of chemical bonds. The first one is called the covalent bond. What is this? You just get example over here. Covalent bond is the bond of chemical in a molecule where the atom share their electron. Okay, so this one share electrons. Okay, so each atoms can use that electron. Are you with me? Now my question is, if you're sharing electron, just like for example, we can make it easy. Let's say a family. What? A family. When you get married, you will share, right? You share the money. You share, if you have kid, you share the kid, right? Are you with me? What do you think the strength of the family bond or the covalent bond? Will be strong or weak? If it is family bond. It's really strong, right? Really strong. You cannot break a family. They will cry. They will cry. Don't break a family. Because what? They are very strong. Not easy to be broken. What? So this is the same like a family bond. The covalent bond is like family bond. The sharing. And this is going to be very strong. Okay? Can you follow this example, right? Easy, right? Family bond, covalent bond. Second type of bond. Example is here. You actually very difficult to break this water molecule. It's not that easy to break this one. It's very difficult. When you break it, you actually gonna get a lot of energy from it. Therefore, you know, some people are actually creating energy from water. You know, okay, because they have a lot of energy. Get it, right? Now, what is the second type of bond? It's called the ionic bond. Okay, ionic bond. Okay, what is ionic bond? This is attraction. Okay, the bond that is created by attraction of ions, which is positive and negative. Okay, so positive, negative ions will attract one another. Now the question is, what is ion? That's the question. Anybody know what is ion? What is ion? Atom that has charge, which is atom that lose or gain electron. Therefore, it has charge. Remember, atom will always what? Neutral. Whenever it has charge, it becomes ion. It's not atom anymore. Can you follow this, right? Look at this example. We're gonna use this one over here. These two atoms. sodium and chloride. Hey, what is the atomic number of sodium? What is the atomic number of sodium? 11. What does that mean? How many protons? 11. So you're going to have plus 11 in the nucleus, right? Positive 11. Are you with me? How many electrons? How many are you going to put in the first cell? Follow the rule, right? 2. How many in the second one? 8. 1, 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. How many total so far? You still need one more, right? It's going to be on the last one. Okay? That's 11. You follow this? Now look at this sodium. What do you think is going to be easy for the sodium? Whether to take 7 or just kick the one out over there? Just kick it out. Okay? Kick it out. Boom. Are you with me? What happens if this atom kick its electron out? Boom, it's gone. You follow this? So how many electrons now it has? 10. 10 negative, and how many positive? 11, still 11. You don't kick off the positive. It's in the nucleus, but you kick off the negative, right? It's lose one negative. Now it become charged or still neutral? Charged. What is the charge going to be? Plus 1, because 11 plus, only 10 negative, right? Therefore, this sodium is become sodium plus. Get it? So whenever you put plus over here, this sodium is not atom anymore. This is what we call the sodium ion. Get it? Okay. Any positive ion is called cation. So cation means it's carrying positive charge. Are you with me? Easy, right? Now this sodium is become ion. It's not atom anymore. It's carry charge now. Okay? Now look at the chloride. Chloride, what is the atomic number? 17, right? It means that it has 17 protons, right? It has 17 plus in the nucleus. How many electrons? 17. How many in the first one? 2. Okay? So I just want to make sure you know how to do it. If you got it, it's easy. You will have it until you have babies, you have kids, you can teach your kids easily. Right? How many in the second one? 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Right? Still how many more? 7, right? It's 17. So it's going to be on the last one. Okay? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Right? Are you with me? Now look at for the chloride. This is chloride. This is an atom, right? It's a neutral. But it's not stable yet, because it's not 8 yet on the last one. So for this chloride, which one is easy for him? Take 1 kid or kick 7 kids or 7 electrons. Take 1, right? So they actually can take 1 over here. Can you follow this? So what happened to this chloride now? Become positive or negative? Become negative because get 1 electron, right? Now it's become chloride negative. This is what they call the chloride ion, which is always carry negative charge. Are you with me? Because it's gain 1 electron. This one lose 1 electron, right? So any ion, any atom that carry negative charge is called the anion. Anion. Okay? So anions are atoms that carry negative charge. Cations is atom that carry positive charge. And this is how they become positive and negative. They lose electron, become positive. they gain electron, become negative. Right? So again, what is ion? Ion is atom that gain or lose electron. If it is gaining electron, become negative, an ion. If it is losing electron, become positive, cation. Can you follow this? Now look at this one. It is not atom anymore. Now it's carry charge. Negative and positive, just like male and female, they attract one another. Hi, hi, right? The same thing with this one. This one positive, one negative, they attract. Attraction over here. Hi. Okay? And they closer, boom, finally, they bind. They bind. Right? So this binding is called a ionic bond over here. Can you see that one? Huh? It is not sharing electron, but it is, boom, attraction of negative and positive charge. This is just like, if this one is covalent bond, is just family bonding. This is just like dating. You have girlfriend and or boyfriend. Can you follow this one? To make it easy, right? Okay. What do you think is going to be ionic bonds? Going to be stronger than covalent bond or weaker? Weaker, right? You can change your girlfriend, boyfriend so many times, right? But you can change your wife or husband every time, right? You can follow this one. So this one is going to be weaker. Okay? Now, look at these two ions over here that attract one another. When they attract in one another, because this is positive one, negative one, then the charge will also gone. Because you have one positive, one negative. Now it's become this molecule. You see that one? What do you call that molecules? Sodium chloride, which is salt. Salt is actually do not have charge. But when you put in the water, it dissociates. What? Now you have charge in it. Because what? They're easy to break. Just put in the water, the ions will be broken down. That's how dating's gonna be. Are you got this one, right? Easy, right? Easy to follow. The last type of bond. I'm gonna erase this one. Right? The last type of bond. It's called hydrogen bond. Okay? What is hydrogen bond? This is the bond that is made from attraction of hydrogens that is slightly positive. So hydrogens will always positive, but it is very slightly positive. It's not full positive. Slightly positive with other atoms or even molecules, that carry slightly negative charge. That's the definition. What is hydrogen atom? What is hydrogen's bond? This is the bond that's created by attraction of hydrogens that mostly slightly positive with other atoms or even molecules that carry slightly negative charge. Can you get this one first? Now, we're going to go back to this water. Look at this water, right? H2O. What type of bond here? Covalent bond. Is strong or weak? Very strong. You cannot break this one. Are you with me? However, if you study this closely, this is what happens. Let's say the husband, the oxygen is the husband. The husband is not fair actually in this type of bonding, in this water binding. The husband is not fair. Why is not fair? You see this one, the last one over here? There are 8 atoms that is sharing. That most of the time, the husband use it more. So maybe 10 times or 9 times of this electron will be going around to oxygen nucleus, but maybe then 1 time hydrogen's nucleus. Are you with me? So what happens if you have this kind of rotation? You only have less. In this case, hydrogen get less negative. Let's say this is money, get less money, right? It's less negative. Now it will have charge now. That's the reason why water have charge. Got it? So what happened with this hydrogen? It's gonna be slightly positive or slightly negative. Remember, it has less negative. It means what? It carry this is what we call a slightly positive charge. It is not really full positive, but slightly. They still get negative sometimes. Right? So the husband is not that fair. Right? When he get the money, I keep $9, you get $1. Eh? $9, $1. $9, $1. Can you follow this? Right? The same thing with this wife, the other wife over here. Is also get less money, therefore it is slightly positive. Are you follow this? Alright, look at this husband over here. He get more money, get more negative. So what's the charge of the oxygen? It's going to be slightly positive or negative? Come on, anybody? Negative, right? It's going to be slightly negative. That's the reason why water is actually polar molecule. Do you know what polar means? It's carry charge. Why? Because it has negative charge and positive charge over here. Even though slightly, but still, they are polar molecule. Are you with me? You got this one? Now, look what happened with the wife over here. Let's say, this wife over here. Do you think the wife will be happy in this condition? When the husband is kind of not fair? No, it's not happy, right? This is what happened with the wife. She's looking, boom, looking attraction or looking somebody else, make an affair. Are you with me? To what? Let's say this is slightly positive, right? It will attract to slightly negative. Are you with me? So this one actually will attract to this slightly negative that carry slightly positive. Can you see this one? What happened this? So you see this attraction with another water molecule. You see what? One water molecule with another water molecule. This one is the same. Right? And this is going to be the same. And this is the same. Are you with me? Okay? So look at this attraction over here. Slightly negative with slightly positive. This is what we call the hydrogen bond. Okay? Maybe in the real life it's just like an affair. Okay? The first one, family bond. This is dating. This is an affair. What do you think the strength is going to be? It's going to be very strong or very weak? Very weak. Even though you don't want somebody now, right? It's very weak. It's going to be easy to break this. It's really easy. But you cannot break this. It's difficult. Are you with me? The water that you drink actually over there, it is only have one molecule of water or million of molecule of water? Million of them. Don't say that water over there is only one molecule of water. It has million, trillion of water molecule, right? Can you break it easily? You can splash it, right? When it is splashed, when you break it, which one is broken? The family binding or the affair binding? This one, the hydrogen bond. Are you with me? I give you the easy examples how to understand this different type of bond, right? So this one family bond, really strong. This one is kind of strong a little bit. This is dating, but this one is very, very weak. Right? Many molecules in our body, like for example protein, they have a lot of hydrogen bond. Therefore, protein is actually really easy to be broken down, to change. Like for example, if you have eggs, it has protein, right? And you put it, you cook it. What happened with the egg? It's changed because many hydrogen bonds on the eggs will be broken down and changing into different molecules. You follow this, right? Okay. Do you have question for this one? So I hope it is easy to understand, okay, the molecules and the atoms. Okay, now, molecules okay, last time we mentioned there are two types of molecules, right? So atom will combine into molecules. How they combine it? Using bond. How many types of bond? 3 types. Okay? Covalent, ionic, hydrogen. Now molecules, you have 2 types, okay? Inorganic and organic. Okay? Inorganic and organic. Inorganic means simple. This is complex. Okay? Now we're talking about human body. We have a lot of inorganic molecules in our body. Example is water. Water is the most abundant inorganic molecules in our body. 70% of our body actually consists of water. This is the most abundant one. And we also have oxygen. Oxygen carried in your blood, used by your cell to create ATP, give you the energy, right? And then we also produce carbon dioxide, for example. It's released from your body. Now this one is the most abundant one. Most abundant inorganic molecules in living body, in human body. Okay, now complex molecules, we have 4 types. We have a lot of carbohydrates, for example. Carbohydrates. Of our sample of our carbohydrates is sugars, like glucoses. Okay. We can say for this sugar we have simple sugar. It's called monosaccharide. Okay, what is mono mean? One. Saccharide, sugar. It only have one single sugar. Example in our body, our monosaccharide, the most abundant one, of course, glucoses. We have a lot of glucoses. We also have galactoses and fructoses. These are monosaccharide, simple molecules. Simple sugar. We also have complex sugar. Okay, complex sugar. We have a lot of what we call the glycogen. This is actually consists of many glucoses. So one glucose is 1 unit, combine, thousand of them, create what we call the glycogen. And the glycogen is actually the storage for the glucoses. Get it? Right? We usually put these glycogens in our liver and our muscle. So our liver, our muscle has a lot of glycogen. Okay? So that's complex sugar that mostly in human. Right? In plant, so this is plant, they usually store the glucoses in the form of starch. Okay, starch. Like in what potato, right? You have a lot of starch on it. That's actually complex sugar. Right? Complex sugar, we also call them as a polysaccharide. It has many sugars on it. Okay. The second type is proteins. Okay. The single proteins, the subunit of proteins is called the amino acid. Okay, amino acid. There are 20 types amino acid in nature, and we have most of them in our body. We need most of them into our body, and these amino acids will create the proteins. So proteins actually consist of many amino acids. There are 20 type amino acids in nature, like glycine, isoleucines. Which one that usually if you take it in during the Thanksgiving, you eat a lot of turkey, they say you're gonna be sleepy because of one amino acid over there that's causing sleepiness. Anybody know what is the name of that? It's called the tryptophan. There's a amino acid tryptophan in the meat, okay, the turkey meat, that usually causing, so some people say causing the sleepiness, right? So that's amino acid. There are 20 types, and they all will create the protein. The next organic molecule in our body is called lipids. Okay, lipid, which is fat. So lipid, the subunit of lipid is called the fatty acid. Okay, so fatty acid plus glycerol. So there's glycerol and fatty acids, they combine, create the lipids. Okay, and there are two types of fatty acids that will cause the lipid to behave differently. Okay, the first one is called saturated fatty acid. Okay, the second one is called the unsaturated fatty acid. Okay, so fatty acid molecule is actually just like this. So carbon, 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 and it has hydrogen, 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 hydrogen. Okay. Long chain of carbon with hydrogen surrounded. Are you with me? So when everything, all the hydrogen is surrounding that fatty acid, the carbon, that it becomes what we call the saturated. Okay? When it is saturated, that fatty acid will be solid. Okay? Solid in room temperature. Okay? When you put in the room temperature in your kitchen, for example, if the fat is solid, it means that it has many saturated fatty acid. What is the example? Butter, margarine, right? They actually carry a lot of saturated fatty acid. Unsaturated fatty acid over here, it means that they lost this. Let's say lost one of these. What happened? They create double bond. They create double bond. When it is creating double bond, let's say this one have two double bond. The hydrogen is not saturated. It has double bond. When it is double bond, it will cause this fatty acid become liquid in room temperature. Can you tell me things that in your kitchen that is actually liquid but it is fat? It means that it has many unsaturated fatty acids. Can you tell me what is that? That is going to be liquid in your room temperature in kitchen. Cooking oil, right? Cooking oil. If you compare cooking oil and butter, they are different, right? One solid, one liquid. The more liquid, the more unsaturated fatty acid in, and this is the better for us. Like for example, if you're looking for cooking oil, you can actually compare, put that cooking oil a little bit in lower temperature. If one cooking oil look like become solidify a little bit, sometimes you see what, and the other one is still liquidy, is one, the other one is better. So most of the olive oil, for example, there has a lot of unsaturated fatty acid. Therefore, they are healthier compared to, like say, you use coconut oil for cooking. Can you follow this? So when you're looking for the cooking oil, you can read on the back. It will telling you whether it has many unsaturated fatty acid or not. Most of the time, the one that's healthier, it has more unsaturated fatty acid, but most of the time it's gonna be more expensive. You can follow this, right? That's actually, if it is, this is the same if you put that in your body, in your blood, for example, the one that has saturated fatty acid, they most likely will become also kind of a little bit solid in your blood, right? It's causing blocking the circulation. Okay, so this is just maybe some information regarding this. Right. The last one over here is called the nucleic acid. Nucleic acid. The subunit for nucleic acid is called nucleotide. Okay, so this nucleotide will combine to make nucleic acid. In our body, we only have two types of nucleic acid. The first one is when the nucleotide bind together and to create you this kind of molecule over here. What do you call this one? DNA. And the other one, the nucleotide is just making one strand like this. What is that? RNA. So you have a lot of nucleotide. You have nucleotide over here, bind, nucleotide over here, bind, nucleotide over here. Look, the binding between this nucleotide over here is actually hydrogen bonds. You follow this? Therefore, it's really easy actually nucleotide, the DNA is broken down. Therefore, sometimes people have mutation if they have chemicals, treatment, something like that. What? Why? It might break the hydrogen bond between these two strands of nucleotide. Can you follow this? Okay, I think I'm gonna stop here. They're gonna use this room for meeting. Again, I need your assignment. So your assignment is due today. I will check, I will grade it, and then I will return it to you on Tuesday. On Tuesday, we're gonna review that assignment. And this is going to be kind of the materials that mostly you will use for study for your exam. So I'll try to help you as much as possible before the exam. You have a good weekend. I know it's not a weekend yet, but tomorrow is Friday.